Meghan Markle is set to be honoured for her work championing women and undeserved communities at a major gala event in LA. Riley Sullivan is a lifestyle reporter here at skynews.com.au and he's always across the latest celebrity.
It was a classic moment of razor-sharp British comedy that had the audience howling, but behind the scenes, Meghan Markle was reportedly fuming. On a recent episode of The Graham Norton Show, the iconic UK host didn't hold back. He compared the Duchess of Sussex to France's Brigitte Macron, but with a twist. Think of her as a mini Brigitte Macron, he quipped, with less charm and a whole lot more PR spin. The crowd exploded in laughter, but word from Montecito is Meghan was livid feeling, deeply embarrassed by such a brutal roast on one of the UK's most watched stages. Just like that, her carefully crafted public persona was turned into a joke.
About this Meghan Markle update, she's going to be honoured for her work championing women and undeserved communities at the prestigious Natural History Museum of Los Angeles Gala later this month. What's the story behind the decision to give this award to Meghan?
The woman who once claimed she would change the monarchy from the inside out had been reduced to pure tabloid fodder. And this time, the joke went worldwide. The punchline? Graham Norton called her a mini Brigitte Macron, referencing that now infamous slap she gave Emmanuel Macron weeks ago. Not the real, commanding French First Lady, just a scaled-down copy with less presence, less real influence, and a whole lot more self-promotion. As the studio audience erupted, Meghan was reportedly losing it behind the scenes. Panic set in. Outrage boiled over. Her entire PR team scrambled into damage control mode. But what really sent her over the edge? It wasn't some supermarket tabloid or anonymous internet troll this time. It was a joke on one of Britain's most respected mainstream stages.
Kind of an interesting decision. As we know, I didn't really see an immediate link between the Natural History Museum of Los Angeles and Meghan Markle. It was sort of unclear the connection. I think that the award is ostensibly to honour her work supporting communities and women. I don't really see a connection here. I think
this wasn't just gossip. This was global humiliation, broadcast for the world to see. Let's break it down. On the surface, being compared to Brigitte Macron might sound flattering. After all, she's chic, intelligent, and politically powerful. But Graham Norton wasn't giving Meghan a compliment. This was surgical-level sarcasm. He didn't just say Brigitte Macron, he said mini Brigitte Macron. That one word, it's everything. It means imitation, not inspiration. A try-hard, not the real deal. A knockoff, not inspiration. For anyone who knows Brigitte Macron's reputation, just imagine being told Meghan is a lesser copy. And in Britain, where satire is practically a national sport, that joke cut deep. Those weren't just off-the-cuff laughs. Those were verdicts delivered with a knowing grin and British precision. Graham was saying, plain and simple, Meghan isn't a leader or a visionary. She's a brand. A calculated, glossy, ultimately hollow product of her own relentless PR engine. Meghan's response? Insiders say she was absolutely furious as soon as the clip hit social media. Her team immediately scrambled, reaching out to media contacts trying to clarify the context. But most of the Sussex camp just went silent, realizing there was no spinning their way out of this one.
the only thing I can think of in recent times was, of course, during the horrible Los Angeles wildfires. I think her and Harry really sort of stepped up. They volunteered. I know they donated some money. So I think, in terms of the Los Angeles area, that's the only real link I can make.
To really get why Meghan took this so personally, you have to understand her obsession with image. She's built her entire post-royal brand around polished lifestyle launches, picture-perfect motivational quotes, and public appearances, so orchestrated they almost feel scripted. Every move is curated, every word rehearsed. From her Archetypes podcast, which critics slammed as overproduced and preachy, to her Netflix show, With Love, Meghan, which got roasted for being all style and zero substance, Meghan's brand screams form over function. So when Graham Norton suggests she's nothing more than a shallow imitation of someone like Brigitte Macron, a woman known for real political power and actual depth, it's not just a joke. It's a surgical takedown of the very illusion Meghan has tried so hard to create. Because, let's be real.
All right, everybody check out Bamboozled by Jesus, How God Tricked Me into the Life of My Dreams by Yvonne Orji. It's out in paperback now. Graham's novel Forever Home is available Tuesday, September 19th. Gadi Peleg from Bread's Bakery is behind the bar. Happy New Year.
Brigitte Macron stands for real influence, policy, education, international diplomacy, a seat at the world's most powerful tables. And Meghan? At this point, she's better known for scented candles, endless paparazzi lawsuits, and interviews where she's forever cast as the misunderstood victim. That's where the real sting comes in. The audience didn't just laugh, they erupted. They applauded the joke loudly. That's the true sign of where public opinion is now. Meghan isn't untouchable anymore. She's no longer the inspirational duchess fighting injustice. The shine is gone.
Quiet domestic dramas. It's set in Ireland. It's a sort of family mystery. It's sort of there's a bit of cozy crime, but it's easy reading. It's a plane, it's a beach, it's that kind of thing.
Cozy crime.
Yeah.
Let's go back to our virtual fans. Dominique from Toronto. What's your question for Yvonne?
Hi, everybody.
She's gone from inspirational figure to a full-blown reality show cautionary tale. The fact that Graham Norton, a national treasure in British entertainment, felt bold enough to roast her on live TV without worrying about any backlash from her once-feared PR machines says it all. Meghan's credibility isn't just cracked, it's absolutely crumbling right before our eyes. And what did she get in response? Not anger, not defense, just laughter. After the show, sources say the mood in Montecito was chaos. Meghan reportedly had an emotional meltdown, even considering a response through friends, another podcast, or a carefully crafted social post.
Hi, everybody. So happy to be here today. Andy, I've been watching your show for years, so I'm a huge fan here in Toronto.
Thank you.
No worries. My question today is for Yvonne. Do you still include jokes of your parents in your stand-up routine? And do your parents ever get annoyed by this?
Once again, the narrative spun out of Meghan's hands and straight into the jaws of satire where she has zero control. This wasn't Piers Morgan lobbing easy shots. This wasn't some anonymous tabloid. This was mainstream primetime mockery. And that, more than anything, is Meghan Markle's biggest nightmare, irrelevance. Because in Hollywood, there's only one thing worse than being hated, and that's being laughed at. And if you thought this was brutal, just wait, because her next Netflix project, With Love, Meghan, is already getting roasted by early reviewers for being even blander than the last season. Stay tuned, because just when Meghan desperately needed a win, her carefully crafted image has taken yet another public blow.
Are the centerpiece of my comedy, the core foundation of them. And, my sister-in-law had to, tell my mom before my last taping. She's like, the comedians use family as inspiration. It's not all the way true. My mom was like, but why must she lie? I was like...
With Love, Meghan, her shiny Instagram perfect cooking show on Netflix, was meant to be her big, safe comeback. It was supposed to be a cozy platform where she could finally control every frame, every word. Instead, it turned into a national punchline. Viewers slammed the show for being bland, hollow, and so self-obsessed it was almost unwatchable. UK commentator Esther Krakow didn't sugarcoat it. There's nothing there, she said flat out. She's not an entertaining person. You don't learn anything from her. And that's the problem. Meghan wants to be Oprah, wants to be Martha Stewart, but the magic just isn't there.
Because she has become a celebrity, my mom will WhatsApp me and be like, this is something for you to ID. No, it doesn't work like that.
Don't pitch me, Bits.
Don't pitch me.
We have 2 Nigerian housewives on the Housewives of Potomac.
I'm aware.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And Brigitte Macron all rolled into one. But here's the catch. To pull that off, you need real depth, actual substance, and undeniable charisma. Instead, what we keep seeing is a woman scrambling to create a legacy out of lighting tricks and borrowed prestige. That's why being called a mini Brigitte Macron stung more than 1,000 tabloid headlines. Because even in the upper echelons of society and the polished world of politics, the message is loud and clear. Meghan Markle just isn't taken seriously. She may have famous Hollywood friends and those big money contracts.
Nigeria is Africa's most populous country. You're about to have more.
Right.
Yeah.
Here are Robert and Lynette from San Francisco with a question for Graham. Hi, you two. What's your question?
Bill Graham to win the National Television Award for TV interview and beat Piers Morgan.
And sure, she's got a multi-million-dollar mansion, but what she doesn't have is authenticity, genuine poise, or that magnetic personality you need to really make it work. Brigitte Macron is seen as sophisticated, influential, and actually engaged in meaningful cultural reform. Meghan, she's peddling jam in overpriced jars and posting awkward dance clips on Instagram in caps that read, "Let us remain calm." It's like she's playing princess, but the tiara is just a filter, and her so-called kingdom, just a rented Netflix slot no one's begging to see renewed. The public is exhausted. The media doesn't fear her anymore. And even entertainers like Graham Norton, who used to give her the benefit of the doubt, are joining in on the roast. The spell is breaking. And when you peek behind the curtain, you don't find magic, you find pure marketing. So where does this leave Meghan now, alone in her Montecito echo chamber, watching the world move on?
I didn't know that. I wasn't there. I had to zoom in to accept the award, but it was worth zooming in to see the expression on Piers Morgan's face.
Really? And what interview did you win for? Was it for a specific interview, or was it...
That's a good question.
She's probably fuming right now, watching clips from Graham Norton's show go viral and realizing she's become a meme, not a monarch. Surrounded by a wall of PR handlers, endless Instagram filters, and a small army of yes men, none of it is helping her connect with reality or with the public. Every attempt to reinvent herself as the relatable Duchess falls flat because people see straight through the act. From her flop Spotify deal and the empty echo of Archwell Audio to her cookbook meets lifestyle fail on Netflix, everything screams inauthenticity. The message from the public couldn't be louder. Nobody wants curated perfection anymore. They want someone real, someone with substance. But Meghan, she keeps serving up glossy nothingness. The once untouchable brand of Harry and Meghan is finally collapsing under the sheer weight of its own hype.
Overriding kind of feeling about Harry and Meghan over there at this point?
Well, it's difficult. I think in the press, it's very kind of anti-them.
Yes.
And it's been sort of a gift to William and Kate, because now they're like deified.
Yes,
in the British press. Now, they could do no wrong.
Right.
I mean, Kate could do a hit and run. And
She came in wanting to be seen as a serious force for change. But now, she's being called a mini Brigitte Macron, a polite way of saying she's just playing dress-up with power she never really earned. And what's even sadder, the more people point out the emptiness of her brand, the more Meghan digs in, absolutely convinced it's everyone else who just doesn't get it. But eventually, the silence from audiences, the cold shoulder from Netflix, and the sly digs from top TV hosts will say more than any PR statement ever could. This isn't just a quiet fall from grace, it's a meltdown playing out live in front of the world. And unless Meghan Markle finally breaks out of her Montecito bubble and brings something genuine to the table, her legacy won't be as a trailblazer, it'll be as a punchline. What started as a sparkling fairy tale has morphed into a warning for anyone who tries to fake it till they make it. Meghan Markle, once hailed as the ultimate modern royal, is now a running joke. Graham Norton's jab wasn't just comedy, it was a reality check, a brutal commentary on a failed rebrand, shattered public trust, and the collapse of the Meghan myth. She wanted to conquer Hollywood, but instead, she's become Hollywood's running joke. So here's the real question. How much longer can Meghan Markle pretend the world isn't watching? How many more times can she spin the same tired storyline? Victimhood, misunderstood genius, and big, glittering promises, while every single project collapses under the weight of its own hype. This isn't just about one flop Netflix series. This isn't just about being roasted on national TV by legends like Graham Norton. This is about the truth finally catching up to the performance. And the truth is loud and clear. The public simply isn't buying what she's selling anymore. If you see it, if you're just as tired of the endless PR smokescreens, the media manipulation, and Meghan's glorified branding circus, then maybe it's time to call it out. Even in the final episode of With Love, Meghan, the so-called big moment, is Prince Harry popping in for a carefully staged hug, a perfectly set dinner table, and one of those cozy, shareable meals with friends. But even that rings hollow manufactured intimacy cooked up to rescue their image. Harry, the same guy who claimed he was running from the spotlight to find privacy, is now serving up food on Netflix in a last-ditch PR push. Critics and viewers alike see it for what it is, a desperate attempt to win back some public affection. Your opinion matters, especially when mainstream media keeps trying to gaslight everyone into believing Meghan Markle is a feminist icon instead of what she's become, a brand with no soul, a platform with zero substance, and a duchess with nothing left but a title she's about to lose. Don't forget to share this video. Send it to a friend who's still sipping the Sussex Kool-Aid. It's time to snap them out of it. Because this isn't just about gossip, it's about integrity. It's about holding the powerful accountable, no matter how many designer labels, royal titles, or Netflix paydays they hide behind. This is the age of accountability, and for Meghan Markle, her time is running out. Now, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are just PR managers of their own fading spotlight. The reality is harsh but undeniable. They've burned through every ounce of goodwill, wasted millions in deals, and managed to alienate audiences on both sides of the ocean. Every failed podcast, every cringe-worthy show, and every shallow vanity project sends their credibility plunging even further. If this is what rock bottom looks like, shiny, staged, but totally empty, it's one of the most dramatic falls from grace we've seen in years. And unless something changes fast, the world has already moved on. So smash that like button if you're officially done with the endless victim routines, the fake humility, and the airbrushed Instagram fairy tale. Let the algorithm know you want reality, not PR spin. Drop a comment below. Does Meghan Markle have anything left? Should Netflix finally pull the plug? Was Graham Norton just joking, or did he hit a nerve that needed to be struck? Meghan isn't building a brand anymore. She's desperately clinging to a collapsing identity using Netflix as her life raft. The Sussexes, once celebrated as bold, modern rule breakers, are now just holding on, hoping the audience hasn't already moved on.